Hey, and welcome to the MadCold podcast, the Marvel and DC online discussion. I'm Joel.
And I'm John.
And we're just going to talk about sort of an origin episode today where we go into some details about, what we're up to, how much we know or don't know about Marvel and DC TV and film, and the sort of the format that we're going to be going into.
So I'm a few years older than Joel, so I have a lot more knowledge on mostly about everything. But Joel's kind of layman in the DC universe, so he'll be nice to have around for that.
I really have no idea about the DC stuff. I mean, I've been watching the TV shows like Arrow and The Flash, and on the Marvel side of things, I've been watching the Marvel movies and the Marvel TV. But I haven't really been watching the DC movies quite as detailed, which isn't insanely bad because I'm not going to miss out on any shared universe stuff up till about now, really.
Yeah, especially with Man of Steel coming out in 2013, and now we got DC is trying to do their whole shared universe thing and just steal the idea from Marvel because Marvel's dominating cinema right now.
I think it is a good idea to sort of centralize all of your movies and TV into one sort of shared thing. It does help. It helps with people who aren't quite as involved with the series. They're more likely to keep up with things and remember who everyone is.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I think it's a great idea. It's also kind of a cash grab, though, because if you miss one, I mean, from both DC and Marvel's perspective, if you miss one of the movies, if you miss any of them, you could potentially miss out on a lot. I mean, unless it's The Incredible Hulk, because that had very little to do with the Marvel Cinema Universe now.
I don't even know if I've seen The Incredible Hulk maybe more than like half of once. So it'll be interesting when we get around.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, when we get to that episode, I mean, I'm sure we'll mention it, how little it truly has to do. I mean, they totally changed the character when they recasted the role.
Okay, so one of the things we're going to be doing in a more steady way is a weekly roundup of TV when it's on. So rather than doing an episode for every sort of show, we'll probably do a roundup one that we'll record after all of the week's shows have finished. So whether there's an episode of S.H.I.E.L.D. on, or Agent Carter, or Arrow, or Flash, or any of the new Marvel. Is it Marvel on Netflix coming out?
Yeah. Marvel has their whole Netflix show coming out that could potentially lead up to the Defenders miniseries.
So yeah, we'll do a weekly roundup after that, and that will include all the Marvel and DC shows, I guess.
Did we actually figure out how we were doing that? Are we doing just one bulk episode for each show on Netflix, or are we going to try to incorporate it into a weekly roundup?
It'd be interesting. I think if people are interested, then we could potentially treat them as if they're coming out once a week and cover one episode a week, as long as it doesn't clash with anything else.
Yeah, no, I think that's a very fair idea. I mean, it gives us more time to take in what's happening in the shows, and we're not trying to just rush an episode. We don't want to do a whole series of 13 episodes and rush it into an hour episode to talk about it.
Yeah. And also, we're going to be doing movie episodes, and they're kind of more detailed, more focused, because you've got probably a lot more time. Say for a weekly roundup show, you maybe spend at max sort of an hour, potentially covering 3 hours of footage, whereas a movie could be 90 minutes, 2 hours maybe, and we can have as long as we want to go into detail and discuss that movie, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we won't be cutting anything short to meet any type of time restraints either. I mean, we're going to talk as much as our hearts, want. There's no cutting short or anything. All right, so the first movies that we're doing are the Nolan Batman and the Raimi Spider-Man trilogies.
Yeah, we kind of want to rather than focus on one series and sort of constantly pummel out one series, we figured we'd split it. Maybe run two series at once. So, for example, we'd release Batman Begins, and then next week we'd run the first movie out of the Spider-Man trilogy, and then run Dark Knight, etc., and then sort of alternate between two series until one of them finishes, and then replace it with a new series.
Yeah, and we are going to try to have one be DC and one be Marvel, just so we're not going like 3 or 4 weeks with only Marvel content or 3 or 4 weeks with only DC content. We want to keep both sides of the universes, happy. Both comic book universes happy.
Yeah, and when we do end a series of movies, we might want to not take a break, but go on a bit of a tangent. So we could run a similar format show, but running a sort of an potentially unrelated or more fun, light-hearted movie.
I mean, yeah, some of the ones that we have queued up for stuff like that, like Scott Pilgrim, Kick-Ass, Super. I mean, stuff that aren't really tied to either the DC or Marvel universes, but could still be considered comic booky in a sense.
They don't quite fit the MO of Marvel and DC, but they're definitely related, and they're a lot of fun. So it's not really something you can avoid, because they're brilliant. I love things like Scott Pilgrim and Kick-Ass.
No, exactly. See, I think that's the beauty of it, is that we can do whatever we want, and I mean, as long as we fall in line with our general ideas, so it's just talking and enjoying movies and whatnot, or not enjoying movies. 94, Fantastic Four.
Yeah, and just because we don't like a particular movie doesn't mean we're not gonna do an episode and just rip it to shreds.
Yeah, no, exactly, and that's the thing is, yeah, I mean, we got a list of stuff from around 1951 with the first Superman made for TV movies. It was based on the Adventures of Superman TV series. We'll probably never touch that, or the 66 Batman that was based on the Batman TV series. But you know what? Who knows right now? I mean, that Batman was kind of corny and jokey, so we might want to, maybe we'll pick that, 1 week, and we'll do a couple episodes. It was pretty campy to say the least.
I mean, this list we've got a nice Wikipedia list. If you go to Wikipedia and go list of American superhero films, that's essentially what we've got to work with, and it's pretty decent. I mean, things I'm seeing here as examples of fun off-topic ones would be Hancock.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one. Yeah, that one. That one, there's some love and hate for that movie, so I'm sure that we could find some more love in it.
I
gotta love Will Smith.
Yeah, it was decent.
Also, some other ones which aren't really comic booky. I mean, like Jumper. It's not really comic booky, but we might touch it. I don't know if we will, but we might. I mean, it's just so we have variety. I mean, some of the other ones are even like V for Vendetta. I mean, it is a comic book. It's more of a graphic novel, not a true comic book. But yeah, maybe we'll hit on it. It's a terrible movie, but
yeah, it wasn't one of my favorites, but it was.
I don't think it was really anyone's. Fuck it. What does the 5th of November land on? Maybe it'll be a specialty episode.
Yeah, that's like a thing over here. Like, you guys don't really have 5th of. You don't really. It's not really an event over there, is it?
We haven't talked about that. So I'm from the U.S. and Joel is from the UK.
In case you couldn't tell, I am in fact British.
Yeah, sadly.
And sometimes you can tell more than others. And what this means is that, first of all, what it means is that we get MCU movies usually like a week earlier than John does.
Oh yes, forgot about that. That's gonna be fun. I will kill you if you spoil anything.
I'm gonna just go down to the pictures and watch Ultron the day it comes out, and then just sit outside the pictures and record a solo episode, and then get it up and within an hour of it being released.
For the record, November 5th is a Thursday, so we may be getting a Thursday specialty episode.
Yeah, but it's like a thing over here. Like, we celebrate it. We like fireworks and shit. It's to do with Guy Fawkes wanting to blow up Parliament and all that lot.
Yeah,
we like.
I think a lot of people actually know that, but
yeah.
But yeah. Oh, and then also, I don't think we've actually discussed it, but we will be doing the old Superman movies, the 70s, I believe. The 70, 80 Superman movies. And we will probably add Superman Return to that.
Yeah.
Because it's technically part of the continuum.
Okay, it's part of the continuum, then might as well go for it.
At least it was intended to be, but it was still a failure. And then we got Man of Steel. Man of Steel is here to boot the shared universe, which we obviously mentioned, but that's going to be one that we might not touch right now. We might give it a year until maybe just before Dawn of Justice comes out.
Where they backed off a bit and moved it forward because they released it and then Marvel kind of dropped
Civil War.
Drop Civil War on that day, and they're like,
And that was before we even knew it was Civil War.
yeah.
Also, that's one thing that we also need to, I think, bring up. So the current MCU, we are going to tackle that at some point. It will be a nice long Marvel one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what we're going to do with the DC yet. We might do some of the more one-off DC stuff, so the ones that didn't quite, turn into anything, like Green Lantern or Jonah Hex or Watchmen, stuff like that. I'm sure that we'll find other stuff to fill that in because there's nothing that is as long as the MCU right now in the Marvel universe.
What we definitely want to watch from this Wikipedia list is Power Rangers Samurai Clash of the Red Rangers, the movie.
I don't remember that being a thing.
2011.
I swear that there were only
obviously.
2 Superman movies. Okay. I was going to say, I swear that there's only 2 Power Ranger movies, and there still are.
What else is on here? Hellboy?
Yeah, we'll be hitting Hellboy. That's one of the ones that aren't actually tied to Marvel
Yeah.
or DC that we will hit at some point.
I'm trying to look down here to see what other decent stuff we've got on here.
We'll be doing X-Men, we'll be doing the bad Daredevil, the terrible Elektra, the piss poor Catwoman. If you're getting the gist here, we will be tackling the terrible movies that have come out as well.
Oh, it's all opinion, isn't it?
No, I'm pretty sure that most people agree that Catwoman was one of the worst movies ever made.
Fair enough. I mean, it hit 82 million at the box office, but that's not exactly very
I think
much.
that was an accident. I think people were like, "Oh my god, Catwoman!" They went like, "What the fuck is Halle Berry doing dressing up like a cat?" And where's Batman?
Anyway, so the format, I guess, we just watched the movie like I did with Batman Begins today, and I think you watched it earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, I watched it last night before I went to bed. Taxing, by the way, taxing work.
Is it really? Oh yeah, watching movies is definitely hard work.
Well, no, it's not even that. I mean, obviously I watched the movie, but taking notes.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, by the end of it, I had like 4.5 pages of notes.
I've written things down by hand for the first time in like a month.
I typed it out, and it was a lot more work than I expected. I mean, it's work that I'm willing to do to get content, but it actually was a lot more. I actually looked for a piece of paper, but I don't think we have paper in my house because who writes shit down?
Well, students, which is why I found some.
That makes sense. I guess I should have looked for printer paper. I might have some of that in the basement.
So yeah, we're sort of anything I say my notes are generally a lot more focused on just what's been happening, plot and stuff. And yours, probably because of you were tired when you wrote them, it's just sort of random observations and
which I don't think is
and...
the worst. Yeah, go ahead.
It's good to have a good mix of that, I think.
Well, yeah, that's what I was about to hit on. I think, as long as you can grab some plot stuff and also bring up talking points, and I just bring up talking points and you carry the plot so I remember where these talking points came from, that could be good. But I don't want to be the only person bringing up talking points either.
Fair enough. So let's see what we've got noted down here. So, discussing random shit, whatever we see, acting or lack thereof, directing or lack thereof, good casting or lack thereof.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we're going to try to tackle anything and everything. I mean, like some of the good casting stuff, like in Batman Begins. I mean, I feel like oh fuck, I forgot the guy's name. The guy that plays Crane. Oh, dude, he is so perfect for Crane.
What's his
Scarecrow.
face? My mind prevents me from remembering again.
I am terrible at actors' names, by the way. So Google shall be my friend.
Some Irish guy, Murphy. Something Murphy.
I'm sure I can bring this up real fast.
I can't pronounce
2004.
Irish names.
Oh, so you actually have it in front of you. It's something Murphy?
Yeah. I can never be sure, because, I know plenty of names that look like it's pretty obvious how they're pronounced, and they're not.
Oh, okay. So let's look. It is
Killian.
That's what I thought. Cillian Murphy?
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy. Yeah, he is perfect. Perfect for
no, I definitely
Scarecrow.
think it was a good casting choice, but we can obviously go into detail on
Yeah, we will hit on that. We'll hit on that on the next episode, which this is episode number 0. I don't know if we actually brought that up. You don't actually have to listen to this. And if by chance you are, I don't know, like 20 minutes into this already, you can leave.
Yeah, just
if you don't want to listen to us talk.
Go watch a review.
Yeah. Go listen to Batman Begins.
I keep saying watch, but we don't have video podcasts. Probably because
we don't have video podcast yet. That's actually one thing that we should hit on. We are potentially planning on doing video podcasts. It'll be something along the lines of where it'll be us on the left-hand side, and then we'll be showing images or small videos or tidbits or stuff about what we're currently talking about on the right-hand side.
If I can work my way up to look even anywhere near as cool as what we've got our resident artist working on for our cover photo that you can probably now see, because we're not putting these out until he's done. If I can look anywhere near as pimp as that, then sure, I'll do a video podcast.
Yeah, no, exactly. As Joel said, we have an artist friend doing an image of us. So and it looks pretty sweet. It's going to be awesome. You guys will be able to see it.
We had to reduce your weight in it like 5 times.
Yeah, I think that was a whole "how Americans are fat" joke.
Yeah, of course it was.
I'm not saying I'm skinny, but I wasn't that fat. Okay, I looked like I could barely fit in the damn chair.
That's probably about right, though, isn't it?
But you guys still have me eating like 16 things of popcorn.
Again,
that shit just runs through me.
So
I despise popcorn.
So episode length is another interesting thing to talk about, because some people can probably talk about a movie for a good 5 hours, and some people could barely go 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to shoot for, let's say, an hour. That's what we're going to shoot for. I mean, we're not going to drag it out.
Yeah.
But if we go over, I mean, oh man, let's hope that we don't go to a 2-hour episode, but shit, we might.
If it's a really good movie and it's worth talking about for 2 hours, then
and the thing is as I was looking at some of my notes, there might be just a lot of like rambling and what's the word I'm looking for? Venting.
Bullshit.
A lot of venting.
No, bullshit. That's what it is.
Hey, it's beautiful bullshit though.
Yeah, it's just gonna get clicked and dragged on Audacity, and I'm gonna press delete, and we're just gonna get rid of all of your emotions.
Hey, don't hate, appreciate anyway, content.
TV episodes, which I said the weekly roundup, is going to be more of a variable, because say we've got a week when there's like an episode of Marvel's Agent Carter out, but then there's no Flash or Arrow, for instance. It could be quite a short episode. It could be 20 minutes. But obviously, if we've only got one episode of TV in a week, then we'll try to talk about that more than we perhaps would if there were like 4, so that we can buff out the time of it. But when there's like 3 or 4 shows on that week, then we will have to still cap it about an hour for all of them, I think.
I mean, we'll shoot for an hour, but I mean, I obviously don't want to cut content that could be good.
Well, we're never going to get any of that, are we?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we know nothing. Also, I guess one of the upsides that you guys will have the joy in listening to is the fact that I despise S.H.I.E.L.D. and Joel loves it.
Do you
so
really
those should be
dislike it that much?
Okay, I don't despise it. I just seriously, if it wasn't tied to the MCU, I wouldn't have even thought a second about watching it. It's just a standard crappy show to me, but it has picked up. It really has picked up.
Are you still not interested in S.H.I.E.L.D. after the most recent episode?
Oh no! Don't get me wrong. I mean, the introduction of Daisy, I think, is beautiful. I love it. I love it. Also, I can say that, and people are still like, "Oh, who's Daisy?" I'm not spoiled yet, and I think we're gonna keep it that way for this Origins episode. Let's not spoil anything this Origins episode. Daisy is there, and she's cool, and she will hopefully carry the show.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say.
Carrying, because it's a wonderfully amazing show, isn't it, John?
It needs a lot of help. And I think it got some. I think it did get some post Cap 2. is when it did start getting a lot better, and then season 2 I didn't really like the beginning of season 2. It took a lot of what I liked from season 1, the very few things I did like from season 1, and killed it.
Really?
Fitzsimmons was like only there for the last episode of last episode of the first half of season 2.
Yeah, Fitzsimmons obviously gets my vote as being one of the highlights of the show because, obvious connection there geographically. And moving on a little bit, one of the good things about a weekly TV roundup is it's a lot more current than a movie show. So potentially what we would do, because it's more likely to be watched when they're coming out, is maybe some news. If any interesting news is coming out, hitting the press during that week, we could discuss it at the end of the TV episode.
Yeah, I think what Joel's hitting on here is we'll do a weekly roundup of the TV shows, and we'll do like a weekly roundup of real world news to anything. The MCU, the DC shared universe, whatever comes out, we'll hit on. But like there will be a few times, and they'll be rare, but we may do like a mini episode type thing.
I mean, something's got to be pretty important for a news episode, sort of extra. Come and listen to us talk about Spider-Man being recast and acquired by Marvel.
Yeah, that would I may actually have to wake Joel up like middle of the night, dude. You gotta get up. We got shit going on, and we might have to talk about ASAP. Because I mean that's the kind of stuff that will be very rare. Like. We'll want to talk about that as soon as possible, because just to get our initial feelings out of the way and
we'd
stuff.
hope to get a breaking news podcast out within 24 hours of a breaking news story, and I'm pretty sure we can hit on that.
Yeah, like obviously something big, like not something kind of big. Like, for instance, Cumberbatch being cast as Doctor Strange, that kind of stuff, we'll just wait until the weekly roundup episode for us to talk at the end.
Which brings me to release dates or release in the week of the episodes. We're probably looking to obviously do the weekly roundup once all of that week's TV is out, which would probably usually be, for me at least, Thursday nights. Because by the time that the show is out on Wednesday, say, what comes out on Wednesdays? Arrow?
Yes.
Yeah. So that only hits like 2 a.m. Thursday for me. So I'd watch it legitimately at that time. And then... Are you typing?
Yes.
I watch it as soon as possible, and then that evening we talk about the week's shows, do the news, and then publish that ASAP. And then over the weekend, record a movie episode or pull out an old movie episode that we've recorded and drop that probably around Sunday or Monday.
So you're saying movie episodes on Sunday or Monday?
Yeah, I was
thinking Monday or Tuesday.
Probably Monday or Tuesday, actually. That makes more sense, because probably...
If anything, I could see us dropping... TV episodes on Sunday, Friday or Sunday.
Friday.
Primarily because there might be a few shows that you might have to start watching.
Okay.
For instance, Gotham.
Yeah.
And I believe Gotham comes out on Friday night. Actually, I have a list here right in front of me of what is considered DC Comics television shows.
Okay, go ahead.
So we have currently, as of present, we have Arrow, Gotham, The Flash, and Constantine. However, I think Constantine's getting canceled.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's being canceled.
Personally, I haven't been watching Gotham, but maybe we'd watch it. And Constantine hasn't really caught my attention yet.
No, I haven't watched a second of it. Again, like I said, I think it's getting canceled. But then we have series that have been picked up from their pilot, I'm assuming, and are getting stuff. We're getting iZombie, which is a Vertigo imprint. It's not actually part of DC. It's just one of their off companies. I don't know. We'll look at it, see if it fits the genre, and if it does, we'll go with it. But then we got Preacher. We got Supergirl, which will fit what we're talking about. Static Shock, which I actually have no clue what that is, and then Krypton, which might be another Superman origin story.
Cool.
I could be wrong. Okay, yeah, so there's rumors to develop a prequel TV series titled... Oh, this is Krypton. This is... Okay, I have no clue what I'm talking about. We'll see what happens when that comes. And then all the other stuff that has been announced or in development, stuff like Young Justice, Titans, Lucifer, those we will also hit on for the DC, or at least try to. And then we got the Marvel stuff right now. Also, just to hit on the Netflix series real fast.
Yeah.
We have Daredevil coming out next year, and we have AKA Jessica Jones coming out next year.
All right.
On Netflix. And then following up, if these do good, because they could totally bail on these if they're not doing so hot. Luke Cage and Iron Fist. If all 4 of those do good, they will be doing a Defenders miniseries, which won't be as long as them. And then if the Defenders miniseries does good, we don't know what's going to happen after that. It could easily be introduced into the movie MCU and go from there. It should be fun.
So would that be? It would be technically part of the continuum, just not really related, not like brought up with the other parts of the continuum.
Okay, so as of right now,
yeah,
it is part of the MCU, but it is not currently being referenced to in any material that we've currently seen.
Yeah,
that's currently kind of like even S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, S.H.I.E.L.D. was like
S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. is
it's
still like
it's
that.
still pretty much a one-way street with references for sure.
Yeah, it's not official yet, but with an upcoming movie, it could become official.
Yeah.
Like outright official.
No, I definitely agree with you.
Yeah, it could outright become official with that as well, which it's more or less. I mean, the biggest link that we have is obviously Coulson. Coulson is in both.
Yeah.
He hasn't been reintroduced back into the MCU though yet.
Yeah, anyone who's only seen the Marvel movies and not Shield would still be under the impression that he's dead.
Yep, pretty much. Because have they even talked about him? I don't even think they've mentioned him.
And they've not mentioned that he's alive.
But yeah, so that's just the gist. I mean, those are just some of the upcoming stuff that. Oh, I actually just thought of something. Totally just thought of something. Animated stuff. We may, at some point, tackle animated movies, primarily the DC stuff, because that's kind of where they're gods right now. I mean, they're doing a lot right in their animated movies. A lot right. I've watched all of them but the newest one, I believe, and I mean they're good. We probably won't be tackling any of the animated cartoons that like the TV show cartoons I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't think we're tackling any of that, even though Guardians of the Galaxy was announced, but I don't think it's MCU canon.
No.
Even though when I click the Wikipedia link, it does bring me to the Guardians of the Galaxy page for
the movie.
Yeah. So let's scroll down here. Sequel. Obviously we know there's a sequel in development for it. But
yeah.
I don't know. As of right now, we're probably not touching the Guardians of the Galaxy cartoon. If it becomes canon in some way, maybe. But as of right now, we're not. This is mostly just a movie podcast and we obviously have to hit on TV show shit. So we're also doing television.
And if you want to tell us about what you think about maybe us doing the animated stuff or not, or any comments about anything we've discussed in this podcast or any future podcasts, that's quite a broad catch-all there. Then you can get in touch with us. You can email fans@madcold.com. You can go to facebook.com/madcoldpodcast, Twitter @madcoldpodcast, google.com/+madcold, or check out the rather empty subreddit /r/madcold, or you can check out our website where we list all these episodes. That's madcold.com. We were quite pleased to get that domain.
Yes, we were. It was kind of that was kind of what sold us on this name. We were obviously just trying to find something, and we were cross-checking acronyms to domains, and that one came up, and we're like,
yeah.
Yeah, that sold us almost instantly. So
make sure you subscribe to this podcast on iTunes if you're using that, or if you are sane, then you can use an Android app and subscribe. Most of them, you can just go to madcold.com and click the currently orange button, and it should let you open it in a nice app. Or you can just keep an eye on madcold.com, and it will update when we have new episodes. If you've got no clue what you're doing with any of that, then there's a page on the site that tells you how to do it. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this I guess Origins episode 0 of MadCold, the Marvel and DC online discussion. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the future, which is episode 1, which will be...
It will be Batman Begins, and then that will lead into Spider-Man 1 like we stated, and then we're just going to flip-flop between that trilogy.
I mean, it depends how fast we get round to releasing those, because of course we've got Agent Carter coming up soon, and that will start rolling the weekly TV episodes.
Yeah, no, exactly. So that'll probably be our first weekly television show, because I don't think anything is coming back on the first week of January outside of Carter. But yeah, no. Thank you for listening. Also, real fast, if you are listening, you do like what we're doing, please throw us a review on iTunes.
We'd really appreciate any sort of review, positive or negative. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.